Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel, Curiosity Box. This video is going to be an ASMR video. I'm going to read out my written dream accounts, which can also be read on my blog, autistic.wordpress.com. So I used to do dream diaries like a while ago, but they only ever came out as like scribbles and just very vague drawings. I can't really talk about those because I was tempted to note down people I know a bit more than, but eventually I learned to write it out properly, even though I was when I write these out I'm half asleep. I don't bother putting my glasses on. I scrabble around from a dream diary or a notepad, grab my pen and just squint while my muscles try and write. So I'm going to read them out. I did this picture which represents all my dream friends because they often occur in my dreams. I'm often having a relationship with Matt Smith. David Tennant's a bit annoyed because Christopher Eccleston said I dumped David Tennant for Matt Smith, but Christopher Eccleston was twisting the truth a bit. And Benedict Cumberbatch, we have quite a relationship too, and I often, if Martin Freeman's there, I often ask him to go get Ben and stuff, or where's Ben? But often I can actually conjure them up in my head. Well, obviously in my head, but I see Ben's here. And Ben is actually there. It's awesome. So let's start story time. 14th of April 2013. Earlier on, I'm in my childhood house looking at a photo album of a girl I think is me. It's photos from childhood through to adulthood, but it's not me. The girl is way prettier. It's Mum's family party and I keep crying about it not being my childhood anymore. Then the party gets bigger and changes location. It's a big hall with lots of tables with lots of cakes on. It's a party for a new teacher arriving at the school, and it's shared by my mum's family party. There's loads of people and I don't know where I am, and there's all these faces I don't recognise. I'm getting quite stressed because I need the toilet, but I don't want to go in that building's toilet because in my dream world it's a sort of medical clinic and I'm scared there might be germs in it. So Dad starts leading me through crowds back to our house, which is just behind. But then I get worried that some of the crowd might trash our house, so I turn Dad round to go back through the crowds. Mum is over by the wall and gives a what's wrong look at us. In real life, the corridor, in real life, it looks like the way to the halls at the NEC in Birmingham. Then I split off from Dad and I'm with Matt Smith in character as the 11th Doctor. He is trying to stop people going back to our house. He hides behind this sitar instrument. When me and Matt get into the main hall, it's full of cake, and when the music plays, you move to the next table to make cake or just eat it. Matt is looking for a bad guy woman, and Felicia Day is there, dressed in white, and starts saying, "Have you seen her yet?" And Matt looks up, and then Felicia says about her car. Me and Matt skip around the tables, eating cake and biscuits. Then the music builds and finishes the tone light and softly. I then get determined to start flying up to wake myself up so I can write this, but I wake up quickly anyway. So yeah, when I recently, I guess it's fairly recently, when I want a dream to finish, I push myself off the ground and fly upwards to get out of a building and then go upwards into the sky. And I go so far up into the sky that the people on the ground can't see me, so I can escape. So that's my superpower. I love flying in my dreams. It's amazing, because now when in real life I was at Whitby Abbey and saw the fields going down a bit, I thought, oh, I wish I could just fly that right now. I love my Dreamworld. It's like Second Life, except you don't have to install it on your computer or actually play it or anything. It just is created in my brain, which is awesome. So it is a lot like parallel life to me. So, next dream, 17th of April 2013. I wake up in dream and find I have tweets from a couple of friends about a new Doctor Who playset and figures coming out. I have to log on to this website with all info on. It's all dark coloured Games Workshop style. The set is a tank of water with figures of Colin Baker's Doctor in an episode he did with Anton Deck. It's a very flimsy tank and I've been sent it to review, but I accidentally tipped some water out of it. There's also this game where you lean in and have to open little doors, and this plastic fist comes out and punches you in the face. I've been sent these new toys and sets to review. Then Colin Baker is there and jumping about my bed, getting excited about his new action figure, and is trying to pitch it to Simon Cowell. I get out of bed to tip away the water in the tank thing, and I wake up for real. Feelings, mainly bemused really. Then we have 20th of April 2013. I was in a Doctor Who episode with Clara, and it was an impossible thing of us talking about watching Doctor Who on the telly, and I showed her my collection of action figures from the show, and then some of the figures came to life, and I pulled off the arms to defeat them. I think the bit before is with Matt Smith in character, and Clara runs off to fix things, but I know he just needs a big hug, so I hug him. Then I start to chat to Clara about being a fan of the show. Then after the action figures, we are both sat in the entrances to some tunnels. We have to complete the tasks of being brave and going through these tunnels. The first one just pulls us along really fast, and we scream, and I try to act scream. Then the next tunnel is cars coming towards us really fast. Clara says it's one way, but I see a big huge lorry, big huge furry Yeti-like traffic. Clara says it's one-way traffic, but I see a big huge furry Yeti-like creature and figure out I need to get to him for him to pick me up. There's these two other people, and they tie a knot on some straps round a baby so the Yeti can easily pick me up. Then the filming is finished and I feel really proud. Later I have a copy of Doctor Who Adventures magazine with an article showing how they filmed the tunnel sequence with the concept drawings, and it says the character I acted as was played by a 15-year-old schoolgirl called Becky, so I was rather disappointed and tried to remember the filming, but couldn't. It was just blackness. There was a bit of a snapshot of Clara in front of a tunnel saying, "I don't know where I am," so I knew how to film that bit and could tell Clara what to do. Then I sort of woke up, and they had 2 or 3 pads of paper with stuff in them, and I was trying to find blank pages, and this actual pad I'm writing in now. Feelings, excited, scared, proud, disappointed. So, April 23rd, 2013. After filming with David Tennant and Matt's Doctor and I had to go in this tent-like building we were just filming in to hug Matt and say how brilliant he was. I was also trying to get a part in the next episode. Matt got 2 little gold goblets from the medieval fair for alcohol to celebrate. We discussed the bit with Christopher Eccleston's hologram, which I was totally emoting in. The story was Ten jumping back into this world of aliens, and I was following him and emoting so much. Clara was there, too, with 2 kids she was babysitting. I totally took control. There was this alien doctor who was sort of orangey, who wanted to shake hands, which was a bit icky. Idris was there for a few seconds too. Before the Doctor Who bit, I was in a car with Mum, Dad and my auntie, and there was an advert for a medieval fair that people stay over at and book tents for. It was only 10 minutes away, so I wanted to go, but I'd also read that they had to turn people away because it was so popular. Anyway, we wangle up there, and my auntie grabs the tickets, brown paper with black ink, and we start walking to the interesting stalls, but the woman at registration comes after me and grabs the tickets back out of my rucksack. We have a right old Barney, with her saying we only want to look at it all. Then I'm in this classroom, and I sit down at the empty space, not full at all, with a big sheet of paper ready for a drawing class. It then all turns into the Doctor Who story. Feelings, acting, emotions, enjoying Matt, drinking alcohol, content. April 25th, 2013. I'm making a programme with Stephen Fry, and we are searching for Britain's sexiest brainy celebrities. We are main following Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch as they film Sherlock. I catch up with Martin and tell him what we are doing, and I say it was Stephen's idea, well, mine actually, but he didn't take much persuading. So Martin helps me catch up with Ben, and Stephen and I meet this female who is a scientist who had been working on lab stuff, and we mention the amazing jellies, and I give her a hug. Feelings, cheeky, mischievous, having fun. May 3rd, 2013. David Tennant and me in a little library storeroom with lots of books, and we are kissing a bit, and we also pick up a holographic cat magnet each and shake them at each other, pretending they're fighting. Wonderful World of Will is a book that David rips the title page out and starts to eat it, but then pulls it back out of his mouth. We kiss a little, and I feel his bottom lip. David is sort of a bit the 10th Doctor as well. I then wake up, and my real-life friend, who in my dream wasn't there earlier, was in bed next to me, stroking my back and being snuggly. I then scrabbled for some paper to write down my David dream, and found an old English coursework assignment, and started to write on that, thinking I could cut out the sentences and stick them in or copy them into here. Then I woke up for real and said a disappointing "aww," that I wasn't getting boy snuggles. Earlier in the dream, I was in a Waterstone-style shop, and I bought a TARDIS key souvenir. I also like the TARDIS blue roofs of a row of cottages ornament. I could feel very strongly the feeling of kissing David's bottom lip, then my boy buddy touching my back. I do find texture and touch to be felt very realistically in my dreams. That is actually true. Feelings, yummy. This is fun. May 5th, 2013. At a big ball party type thing outside on wooden slats, and I dance for a bit with Will.i.am, and we kiss a bit, and it's nice. He has a red silky puffer jacket on, and I am touching. Then there's a presentation down the other end of this wooden floorboards. This presentation area is unstable and the floor is very wobbly. So I leave the presentation area to go back to Will.i.am, but his pop star friend meets up with me and she treats me to ice cream. The ice cream on display looks like lush blue skies and fluffy white clouds bubble bar, so I consider that because it would feel a happy ice cream, but I decide to ask for the yellow and brown striped ice cream, which is on display behind the server guy. He gets the Y and B ice cream, but then he puts it back again. At the paying hatch, they tried to give us a load of sweets, but it wasn't what I ordered. So I tell the original server, he just got it out, and he has to serve me some of the ice cream stored for someone else. Me and Will.i.am's friend then take our order to some comfy booth seats. Then I woke up, feeling yummy, kissing gear, but then I got very annoyed at ice cream guy. I often have difficulty ordering the exact food I want in my dreams, that's true too. Because either the food disappears off my plate, or then it's not there, or it's not vegetarian, and I'm really angry at the serving lady. It's like, it's not vegetarian, I've got anything vegetarian. This is really funny. So, onto the next folder, it has the next dreams in. 7th of May, 2013. I get chosen for Strictly Come Dancing, and at first I'm partnered with Keith Lemon, but I have to tell Davina McCall, who's reading out the pairs, that I'm just not happy being Keith's partner because his personality is so overwhelming to me. So Len, Craig, etc. are asked to organise me another partner, and they choose Anton Dubek, which I'm happier with, despite him being a lot taller than me. He picks me up and I lean on him to practice the in-hold. I'm really excited to do the show and say to Len, I hope Brucey doesn't say goodbye on my series. Then I look over at the table with red proper tablecloth, because we get to pick some red sparkly glitter ball earrings. Then the scene is the show, but Anton slid a bit playing on the piano in the middle of a routine, and Len told him off for leaving his partner with nothing to do, except for encouraging the audience to clap. I see this bit from a distance. Feelings, nervous, quietly excited. This is really enjoying this. May 7th, 2013. Me and Benedict Cumberbatch of course, are cavorting in this secret room that's in the physical embodiment of a web server /site. Martin knows about us. Ben's niece then tries to get some payment from him and burns down, destroys the building, but Ben gets out okay and I embrace him. Then in dream I wake up and start to draw the above map, but my brother takes the piss. Then there is a fuzzy bit about a classroom and some secrets, and then some Facebook contacts and some little books that I almost take but put back. At some point I drift into dream again and I go looking through this building for Ben. I move through a college-type place, and there's also an awards ceremony. I go outside and then I think it's Ben coming towards me, but it's Ross from Friends, but it's okay, because we're just buddies. Eventually I find Ben, and he's naked with a sheet, a bit like a Rodin statue. There are some girl rivals, but me and Ben clasp each other tightly and smash through a window together and fly into the sky. Someone tells Martin, and then it's me and Ben aiming to climb and soar up. Then Moriarty is there and has a gun, but Ben says it doesn't matter. Moriarty wants to shoot us because we're together and he's with his love. Feelings, saucy, in love, yumminess. May 10th, 2013. In my alternate universe, in my dream universe, David Tennant is Spider-Man, Peter Parker, David Beckham is Thor, and Doctor Who is still Christopher Eccleston. 12th of May, 2013. David Tennant does the speech, and I'm sat next to him, and he says that he secretly loved me, and I was the one who got away. The words he uses are different and are a bit fuzzy, but it is implied that I acted with him. There is an audience of people, and I feel surprised and sort of awkward, flabbergasted, but butterflies in my tummy. I moralise that I can't make a move on David, because that would tear his family with Georgia apart, and I couldn't break his kid's heart. Benedict Cumberbatch is there with Martin Freeman, and I say, well, Come highly recommended. I then tried to talk to him, but he sort of runs round in circles and on this staircase. Then I grab his sleeve and yank him down to sit down, and I'm all, look, you're going to talk to me properly. He seems sort of unsure and insecure. Feelings, huge, warm, tummy feelings of love. 12th of May, 2013. Sue Perkins and I were in a dream together, and we talked about her shoes, a sort of white pair, her original shoes, and another pair. Then we talked about dogs, a Labrador, a big fluffy white dog, Irish Wolfhound maybe, and we talked about dancing. Then I was out of the dream and met Sue in real life, and I talked about the shoes, and she was shocked and had the actual shoes. Then we talked about the dogs, and Sue realised we were in the same dream together and was saying, but what do we do? Then a computer screen appeared and something took over my mind and started to write her name and about her in a little box. Then there was a loading bar going backwards, deleting Sue from real life. I was trying to scream, that's not me, that wasn't me, but I can't stop it, and I'm upset because I liked Sue. Earlier on there was Strictly Come Dancing on the telly at my childhood home, but people were wearing lots of flowers that were shifting from right to left onto the next person. Then I went to my childhood kitchen, and my auntie was there, even though Mum implied she'd gone home. This then seeped into the Sue Perkins bit. Also on the Strictly bit, it was Anne Widdecombe's daughter on the show with her partner, waiting to hear from the judges, but she was crying, and the judge, I can't read what I wrote. Were looking down at her. Judge woman were looking down at her. Feelings, disturbed, upset, trapped, helpless. I'm wondering if I'm seeing into my brain's filing system. I said, if the brain files stuff from right to left, if I saw it in my dream, that would have been cool. So this one has a picture. Now I'll read it out. 13th of May, 2013. It's a new series of Strictly, and the celebrities can choose their professional dance partners and can't choose the same-sex dance partner. This is the guy who plays Cameron in Emmerdale. He picks a male dance partner. That's him in the middle, dressed as Rudolph with red antlers. The male celebrities are dressing up as furry teddy bears. So there's the girls with stretchy skirts, and there's male celebrities in teddy bear suits. 13th of May, 2013. There was this website where you typed in a question about Doctor Who and Matt Smith. It looked like Google. I got an answer straight from Matt, which was really lovely. Then he was there. It was in the kitchen, but seemed to be in the room that was my childhood home playroom. I could feel it spatially in my head. I was trying to get the website answer copied so I could show my friends on GB. Matt explained things a little, then he gave me the most warm, comforting cuddle. Then he started the topic of the love interest for each companion. I said Rose's 10.5, then David Tennant appeared, then Catherine Tate was there, and I said she, as Donna, got with her favourite male celebrity. Then we decided that Donna is the most independent companion, and that she went back home, and it's nice if the Doctor shows up occasionally, but she's okay when he's not there. Feelings, loved, comforting, at home. 13th May, 2013. I'm round the side of this building with Matt Smith and David Tennant, and I'm snogging both of them. Then they want me to try these dresses on, so I do and choose a couple of them. Matt and David have gone and said we'll meet up again later. Then this blonde shop girl is trying to be devious, and she uses one of the dresses to sort of sabotage my happiness. Then we're in the shop, and she tries to take my handbag and steal my money. I get so frustrated that I just shout at her, saying, you can take all my money, you can have all my boyfriends, you can have everything. Would that make you feel complete? Would it? I then woke up for real, feeling angry. Feelings, loved and feeling good with Matt and David, then annoyed and angry. 20th of May, 2013. Michael Portillo and his wife come round and sit on the sofa, and I am curled up on it too. Michael says I can lie down and rest my head on his legs. Apparently he's very affectionate. I think this is a bit weird, so sort of shake my head and politely refuse. Then we are all going on a sort of holiday overseas, but the shortest crossing to France. We have to go on these small raft-like boats. There is a lady driving the boat. I am on the top deck with my auntie. I feel sort of reassured that I can escape if the boat raft sinks, and I am not trapped in the lower deck. We go on the smooth sea for a bit, then we arrive at this sort of wooden dock area, which is the docks for a little day trip excursion. We all get out of the boat and go into this little town square with a market and shops. There is a satchel shop with leather satchels in the window. Michael Portillo and his wife are admiring them. I like them too, and also having the feelings that, yes, I would like cuddles with Michael. Then we are in the market, and I ask Mum the time, and she eventually sees on a clock face that it's 10 a.m. and the shops are shut, and we have to get back on the raft soon. There was also a bit for the lady who wanted to buy an autographed trading card, but she didn't get the one she wanted, so a lady showed what she had in her collection to sell. I nearly said that I have some cards, but I was eating. Feelings: nervous, scared of boats, an increasing sense that Michael Portillo hooks would be lovely, but nervous to ask for them. I am sort of gaining a crush on him in real life anyway. And there's how the buckets bit. There were shouts of Bradshaws from some drunken lads, sort of, "Get your Bradshaws, hey!" The raft had no seats, and you had to be on it for hours. 22nd of May, 2013. Filming an episode with Matt Smith and Stephen Moffat. A new story with Jenna after Amy and Rory have left. The set is like a shop. The story is that Matt morphs into different clothes of past companions, so we see him in speedos and a bikini top and miniskirt. Amy and Rory get erased. I'm hanging out on the set for the filming. There are some stairs from the hotel room that I walk down with Matt, Karen, Arthur, and my real-life friend. I'm eating some flowers that are really sweet confectionery. They were really tasty. It felt sweet and sugary, and the texture was like crunchy rice paper. Karen holds Rose. I'm with Stephen Moffat and Matt, and I'm telling them about my blog and my art, and I ask the Moff questions about the trailer and adverts, and Ben Cook is on the sofa. I slowly charm Matt, and we then get all affectionate and snuggly. Then he sort of turns into a mix of Matt, Arthur, and my real-life friend. We chat about who for a while. There is this big stage show which has singing and drama. Me and the guy get closer, and then it's bedtime, and we plan to sleep downstairs. Then scene change to a big outside area. There's a little kid who thinks my guy is her boyfriend, but when she's distracted, I grab him and we snuggle off together to this ticket cart. Also in the episode film, Eleven admits that he loves Clara, and it's sort of them taking off helmets and Matt's ruffling his hair. Feelings: snuggly awesomeness, wanting to impress, having fun. 25th of May 2013. Was in Emmerdale at the Dingles' house. David, the blonde guy, was a dingle, and we were eating apples together and being romantic. Then we were all sat round a wooden picnic table and having food and talking about sauces and getting a ball for the cows. Then we all got into the Land Rover and Dingle drove us across the field. Then we drove down this bumpy road to a big farm fair market. There were tiny baby pigs that you had to avoid stepping on, which is ick, but there were lovely stalls, and I got a little notebook with an owl on free from a nice lady at a stall. Then it was time to go home. We got back to this car park where Mum and Dad were there to take me home. I was excited that I might appear in Emmerdale. There was a real-life stall with a book about how a man had got knowledge from his future to teach people of the present, and he wrote a book. Feelings, it was fun, slightly icky, but overall a nice day out. 4th of June 2013. I see Benedict Cumberbatch in London at the weekend. There are loads of pieces of tribute artwork hung up in a Chinatown street. When I find him, we have a cuddle and a photo taken. When I get home, I begin to think of what I could tweet to him to charm him further. Then the scene changes to going to college and trying to remember what subjects I'm doing. In the hall is Will Maller, but I don't remember his real name and call him Gaz. He is getting married, and Benedict is part of the wedding party. I get determined to charm Ben, so I wander up to him and say it was lovely to meet you at the weekend. He smiles and hugs me, and then I talk about Will Maller to him, and mention how he's Gaz. Then we go through his other names of Neil and Jack. I flirt and tease Benedict and whisper, let's try and embarrass each other. And he takes his shirt off, and we kiss and snog and giggle together, and everyone is way jealous, but me and Ben are just giggling and getting on like mates. Feelings, yum. Wishing my dream was real, wanting Benedict. 4th of June 2013. I was watching telly in the lounge of my childhood home. EastEnders had a special sort of wedding episode that Benedict Cumberbatch was in, and the story had a special kiss. The story seemed to have finished. Then the young lad in the story got to snog Ben, who swooned in the corner while the audience screamed. Then there were 2 other good programmes on the other channels, but then Mum and Dad came home, and I got annoyed with them, because I was enjoying how happy I was about Ben, and they were talking about what they'd done, and I felt embarrassed. Feelings, happy that the Ben snog happened in the show, and afterwards annoyed and embarrassed. Okay, so now we transfer to the current notebook, which is the Dream Diary. 4th of June 2013. I have titles in this one, so the title is Ben Busy. Location, childhood home, lounge and stairs. There was a drama on TV and Ben was playing a transvestite in it. I was having a sensitive relationship with another lad who also was a transvestite. The important emotional scenes were played out at a table tennis game, with the two having a discussion playing each other in a sort of ghostly dream sequence. The first episode was really good, and I discovered there was a second episode, and on the opening titles they showed a set of tweets about the bad aspects, and then a set showing the good aspects, and I looked for my tweet. When the table tennis scene started, I could hear my own ghostly voice. He was a male, from upstairs, which was sort of Benedict. Then there was this boy sat behind me, holding me. Then Mum was going to come in and wonder who he was. The boy said it was okay, because he'd fade away again in a bit. Feelings, good emotions, then nervous, but comforted. 7th of June 2013. Title, Comfort from a Cry. I get Benedict Cumberbatch to give me an autograph. He signs some bits of paper with my poetry on and signs it in red pen, pretending to be teachery about it, then flips it and it flicks into the sacked people. Then he signs me another and I get both autographs back. Then we are cuddling and it's so yummy and warm and safe. Then we get involved in this quiz thing and both say it's skin from Skunk Anansi as the answer. And we are so close and cuddly and yummy and it's bliss. I woke up for real with yummy loved up warmth in my tummy. That best bit was within a dream about a Christmas party, in a hall with loads of pop stars and celebrities, and it was our family party, and it was just normal to have celebrities there, and Simon Cowell was taking the piss and reading out some of Beyonce's lyrics. I was trying to find my iPad to tell my friends about the celebs at our Christmas party. I went off into the big house and got tangled up on the stairs with Prince Philip and the Queen's big long fox fur stole. The Queen was there too, and I tried to be polite and stand to the side, but got my feet tangled in the fur, but Prince Philip sorted it. Then I tried to go get my iPad, But then it was time for a respectable meal, so I found a seat at some tables, and one of the seats was where a ghost was, a girl, but at one point in the shape of a teapot percolator. There was a discussion about sex changes and how it's okay that you feel a certain gender. I was trying to make the ghost less scary. Then it was about walking round with loads of bright fashion jewellery on, and there was a thing where if you take someone's bracelet, you have to give them one of your own bracelets. But a girl nicked a bracelet off me and didn't give me one back. There was a girl stating that was the rule to exchange, but I told her there were clearly people not adhering to the rule. Then there was a cute dog, black and grey fur, and I fussed over it. Earlier on, my dreams involved all my aunties and uncles and cousins, and they were here for a party for Christmas Day, and there was a bit of them all being organised into rooms for bedtime, me trying to find the room I wanted to be in. I am pretty lucidly awake now writing this, but it's quite hard to write, and I am having to force my mind and muscles. My dreams often are in my childhood home, or this big mansion that has been home for a long time now in my dream world. Mum and Dad control the rooms, and years ago they took away the stylish bathrooms that I love. I'm getting too tired to write now, so shall put some supplementary text to this on my blog when I'm awake more. 8th of June 2013, titled Spoilers. Sat on a sofa with Mum and Dad and Auntie and brother and Matt Smith and his co-star, and I'm flirting with Matt, and we get closer and then sitting snuggled with each other, and he's representing Wales in a singing competition, and the voting's up, and I accidentally cheer for a different act, but it's okay, and Matt hasn't been announced yet. Then me and Matt are sat next to some bookshelves, and Matt says, and the 100 Years' War is over, but then he's all, oops, because that's a spoiler for his last Doctor Who episode. I flirtily ask him to tell me what happens and promise I won't tell. We get very flirty and saucy. Then there is a book of 3 little books. One is covered in a map of Jersey. The 3 books talk about the episode. Me and Matt continue snuggling. Feelings, giggly giggly goo. "14th of June 2013, title We're Dancing. Huge Christmas celebration with family and loads of celebrities. Mum was very excited about a guy called Ian Castell, but I didn't know who he is. I had trouble getting my Christmas dinner and finding a seat in the food room. Then I went into the party room, and Rocking Around the Christmas Tree was playing, and I joined in with the singing, and it was a total musical big finish. Good old fashioned way. Yeah. Within this, there was a discussion about who should be the new Doctor, and there was a girl in this film with short hair who burst through the wall in a green dress. I grabbed her leg and said I want her to be the Doctor. There was also a discussion that it would be good to see a more punky type of girl, instead of the usually long flowing locks pretty companion. Within the dream I was also snogging Matt Smith a lot. Feelings, annoying family stuff, megaphone dancing and singing. 25th of June 2013, title Throwing Out the Bishops. John Bishop is cleaning out his family garage, and I'm helping. He has lots of maroon, red, green, yellow papers that are bits of scrap all over the place. Phil Spencer is sort of co-presenter, and the show starts with him attaching wallpaper to a line drawing. John also has a personal cinema next door. You go in the door and straight in the screening room. I wake up from dreaming this, and I'm with John Bishop, telling him about the dream and trying to write the above. We're in a hall, then scene changes to us in my lounge, and Sheridan Smith says a right sort of thing to John. Say, that's worse than me. While laughing, I feel a frisson of closeness to John. My cat is knocking lots of my stuff over. I wake up again to find both the above was a dream, and I'm on a plane on a bed, and John Bishop is asleep in a bed behind me, and his wife and 2 daughters are asleep in beds too. I grab a notebook and start trying to write out the show idea, throwing out the bishops. Feelings, closeness, frustration at trying to write out my dream in the dream. 4th of July 2013. Title: Knowledge is a Powerful Thing. I'm snuggling with Noel Fielding in the audience of the X Factor, which is in a big hall. There is another Noel Fielding, 2 rows in front. A girl is envious of me snuggling up with Noel, and she tells the presenter who is going round the audience. Earlier on, I was with Noel and my mum was in the house and looked through the window and disowned me because she said me and Noel had been naughty. Well, that bit was in my dream world, inside this dream. So I was confounded that she was so annoyed. Anyway, I go off with Noel anyway, and the X Factor bit happens. Then we move to another bit in the audience. Then we have a white cat, which I'm holding. Then there's also our pet, which looks like a big tortoiseshell cat, but is actually a massive guinea pig. Then some of Noel's art is in cube display boxes, and I look at them and I say, I love the chimp's head. It's completely different to his real-life art, more historical nature. Then it's a big hall, and Noel is doing art, and I'm trying to do art to impress him. 2 people leave the room, then they get on with telling this story about me and Noel being together, but I forget his name. I want to write Tony, because I think he's called Anthony. There is a display of some clothes he's made with a tag with his name on, so that helps me remember it's Noel. Then he shows me a slide of Martin Clunes, and I say his ears look so much bigger, smaller. I go back to this table with some other girls there, and get on with my artwork. My family is on my left, being annoyed with me. Feelings: loving snuggling Noel Fielding, and really trying to impress them. 24th of July 2013. Title: Not Guilty. Notes on first waking up for real. Band: Illusion. Local DJ introducing song. Invictive: the monitor in the police station. Woke up in Texas or America. Gun violations killed 2 people from grabbing David Tennant's hand. And looked up, and it was some other guy, and the painting of the horse and cart was a real horse and cart, possibly remembering Jerry Maguire's Sherlock titles. It was a big filming of a comedy, which seemed to be Miranda Hart. She had 2 characters, a comedy character, which was part me, because we got pins in our foot, but when we were sewing the other ladies, took the pins out without me feeling any pain. It emerged that there was a real Miranda directing the show, which we completed, and all the cast were leaving the building, and they started trying to fly up out of my dream, but was then in a hotel and looking for a room, and it turned out me and Matt Smith were sharing a room, and there was a painting of a horse and cart on the glass walls of the room. So me and Matt get romantic, but then these other people popped into the room. Me and Matt stayed together, and then we were leaving the hotel room, and David Tennant was dressed in his 10th Doctor astronaut suit, looking sad, so I reach out and hold his hand, and when I do, he turns into a different man, and it is really that I'm sat in a vast police station, and I'm being charged. I feel scared that I'm trapped. At some point I grab this notebook and start to write keywords, like the local DJ played a song band with the name Illusion, and the thing on the monitor at the police station connected with the cop saying Invictive. Viewing: big, messy, scary dream, confusing, hard work lucidly, surprising. 30th July 2013. Title: Kick-Ass Giraffe Lady. Get angry at a cousin because they want to be popular with the cool kids, and I rant about just being yourself. The story is then about edible Lego bricks, and I'm with a friend, and then there's a joke. I hear about what someone had for lunch, a 2x4 brick wall sandwich. My friend and I thought this was very funny, but then a cousin and this other kid start playing with this jar containing edible Lego, but they don't know how to play with it properly. Then there are these tiny little characters on a shelf, and the kid gives one a bit of edible Lego because one tiny character put his hand up. Then the scene is that Tinkerbell is played by Martha Jones, Rima Adjaman, but to save the people she has to be crushed, and she is then threads being ripped off a flat cotton reel. Then the partner of Tinkerbell is stuck inside the cupboard, so we open the cupboard. I don't like these events. At the doorway my granny appears and delivers human-sized Martha Jones, which is a joyful occasion. Then the scene changes into a lounge, and Martha Jones is now a tiny giraffe in my hands, so I put her on the sofa, and she has Martha's face, but is growing bigger and bigger as the giraffe was last come up. This scientist person said she had tried to make a cure for tallness, but it went wrong on Martha, and Martha was growing and would eventually be bigger than planet Earth. Mark Morrison from Glee is there, and reasons that the planet must always be there first. Mark then tries to propose to Martha, and says he'll look after her, but she says no, because she is a kick-ass woman giraffe, and can cope perfectly well on her own. Then everyone started planning a musical number. Earlier in the dream, I accidentally asked my dream friend, when are you going to propose? Which was awkward, not what I meant to say, a different P word. Feelings. No significant emotions, just contented acceptance. 31st of July 2013, title, The Old Gods and the New. Big Game of Thrones type adventure that started with ballet practice and my dance partner, a wonderful dark-haired man. I try to surprise him in his room, but his agent tells me to leave, so I go into town and the monthly Gracebox stalls are there. Then a boy band appear to sing a romantic song to me, but they are surprised to see me and think I'm rubbish. But then I run down the corridor and a wonderful guy is there, and we go to a room to snuggle, but this sort of customs officer guy is after us, so we just snuggle into each other, hiding our faces. Then everything becomes this huge Game of Thrones type adventure. I'm with Wonderful Man, despite it being a betrayal of the family. His brother is then sort of on high like Jesus, and there's lots of blood. Then the scene is with two women and the rest of the cast, and I have to drink a goblet of blood from the brother, but I chuck it on the floor and sat on Wonderful Man's knee. Then I feel guilty, and I'm kneeling on the floor in the spilt blood, and there's a sort of god, but it's white-furred and a small man-goat, and he says, you have to find your own light, I can't do everything for you. So it was about this sort of message, and Wonderful Man was amazing. Then I woke up into a room full of comedians also waking up, told Dara O'Brien about the dream. Chris Addison came in, and some others, and everyone was scribbling down their dreams. I asked for someone to pass me some paper and a pen, but I found my own and started to write my dream. Feelings, huge amount of tummy butterfly love for the Wonderful Man, lots of acting and emoting. 31st of August 2013, title, The North-South Divide, Solved by a Heavenly Light. Doctor Who, first episode of the new series. There is a southern Idris dressed in white and a northern Idris dressed in green. There are lots of maids and butlers, and the conclusion is for an escape through an archway and flying up to the sky. Then there is a hymn, and the sky has an image of a holy man in the centre, and the hymn has the words, Gods of the wind and rain. There is a small black hole, just like a circle filled in black, and it is implied that the Doctor is in his TARDIS high above, and the hymn brings him down to us. I think of the fans all joining in with the singing. I feel joyful, because the solution was to fly, and that's my expertise, and I was happy it was in a Doctor Who episode. Feelings joyful. 5th of September 2013, title, Young. Big, long, scary adventure. Then it was being rude with Matt Smith, which was awesomely yummy. Davy Tennant was sat next to us in his blue suit eating sandwiches. The adventure bit was awful. Had to defeat a creature with the help of a lot of teachers blowing on it. It involved lots of changing the story and some stealth. I was in a massive museum school. I think it was all influenced by me watching Warehouse 13. So that's up to date in the Dream Diary. Now, I want to do this regularly, so I want to know whether you want me to do dreams, like October dreams, September dreams, or you want me to do like every 5 dreams do a video. So that'd be helpful. So I hope you have enjoyed this exploration through my dream world. Any more questions or any more things you want me to talk about, that you've heard in this video, just leave a comment below. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and thank you.